This is AVIOT, Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. That's spelled K3MISTRY Productions, a media education company.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Jay Stokes with my co-host Jay Random. We actually have a guest in the podcast tonight, and it is Coya. Coya, what is going on? How are you doing?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing good. I hope everybody's doing well.
All right. So, Coya will be joining us on our podcast tonight, and we should have a very eventful time. We're going to start this conversation with what we talked about last time, which was bisexuality in men. So, Jay Random made a bold statement that men cannot be bisexual.
You know, and that's how you got all these quote-unquote bi people running around here. They bi. They don't know what the hell they are, so they just so they label it as bi. No, you cannot be bi. I'm sorry. You cannot be a guy liking men and women. It's either or.
And because of that comment, I actually started a little publication on my Medium blog for AVIOT called AVIOT Unraveled. And I talked about bisexuality in men, just kind of exploring the topic. So before I go any further with what I found when I did that article, Coya, I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think I'm with him on that one. I think that if a man tells me he's bisexual, we're no longer going to be dating.
Oh, no.
He's now homosexual. There's no such thing for me personally. But I guess you could have I don't know. For women, I think it's a little more like acceptable, I guess, to say, versus if a man says it, he's just flat out gay. But it depends, you know.
So here's the thing. When I wrote the article, right, and I posted it because it was titled Bisexual Men, Is That Really a Thing or something like that, I got comments on it. And this is actually a pretty popular article right now. People were saying, yeah, there could be men that are bisexual, like they could be 90% straight and 10% gay, or 10% straight and 90% gay. It was difficult for me to understand, and I'm definitely going to ask them what they mean, but I want you both to kind of have your take on that and what do you think.
Cool, you can go first, and then I'll go after you.
I do know men that identify as bisexual, and I think they more so find women beautiful. I don't know if it's like a real strong sexual attraction, though. You know, they just admire the beauty in women, but I think primarily in the bedroom they prefer men, but they say they're bisexual. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough one to call, you know, for me personally, but to each his own.
Well, you know, similar to what you said, I feel like it's more acceptable for women, and there's no leeway for a man. Once you put a dick in your mouth, you're gay. Once you put a dick in your ass, you're gay. I mean, wait a minute. There no filters going on. Also, by the way, sorry, Coy, there's no filter.
That's why PG-13.
That caught me off guard. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm with him on that. Once my man says he done sampled a little dick, we're not gonna be together.
Exactly.
There's no way. It can't work out. It cannot work out. I'm so sorry.
Exactly. So it's like there's no turning. It's like seriously, there's no coming back from the dark side. Like
because if he's at the gym too long, I'm like, what you was doing getting dick? But he probably wasn't. He could have just been with his friends. But can't trust him like that around other men or women.
Exactly. I agree. And also, God forbid, you see somebody with nice sneakers on, you be like, yo, that's like the code word for you wanna fuck them. You know. So it's kind of like you never know. You know what? And the funny thing is, I'm not sure if you ever watched this is for both you guys. If you ever watched Insecure, but in Insecure season 2, Molly was dating a bisexual guy, and this guy was so good for her.
Yep, I remember that. And every time she saw him around another guy, she's like, "Oh, you checking him out?" She was insecure around other men.
Exactly. It's like, exactly. It's like it's already bad that women have to compete with women, but now you also got to compete with men too. You don't never know where that man's eye is going.
I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like a man, you're just straight up. I think they should just accept the fact that they're gay and just deal with it. I mean, hey, listen, I'd rather seriously, like Jay Stokes and I were saying, I'm all about people being true to themselves, because when you're not true to yourself, you're hurting more than just yourself.
Yes, sir.
You know?
So what do you think about Malik Yoba saying that he's attracted to trans women?
I think Malik Yoba is attracted to men because a trans woman is nothing but a man.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, if they didn't have the castration.
Like a woman.
So if they did not have the castration, then it's pretty much, and this is going to be controversial to say, but it's pretty much a man with just like a wig on, and and maybe they got breast implants, So it's like it's like you're getting the best of both worlds. It's like you have a man and a woman. And the thing is, with the trans community, it's a very touchy subject. I understand, but at the same time, it's like if you have a prostate, you are biologically a male. You know what I mean? So even if you try to transition into being a woman, you still have all the male characteristics. So when Malik Yoba says something like that, he's attracted to trans women, I think he doesn't want to outright say that he's gay. That's just me personally.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. So let me ask you a question, because I don't remember this in Health Anatomy 101. Women doesn't have prostate?
No.
What? I know they don't got Adam apples.
No, they don't have no prostate.
No, women don't have a prostate.
Hell? You know what? When I finish the show, I'm gonna research this, because
well, that's what make men. Their prostate, and they get whatever they.
You know what? While I'm on the phone, listen, I'm gonna research what the hell is a prostate, because I thought the prostate was.
Isn't the prostate like your sack of balls or something?
No. It's
See, I'm thinking.
That's why men only get prostate cancer. So the prostate is just an area like in that genital region, but I think it's like in between, like, and this is gonna be graphic, like the anus and the genitals
or whatever they call.
Yeah, it's in that area. So, oh,
funny.
What are we talking about?
Okay.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up so I can get the exact.
Because I just thought it was somewhere. I thought it was booty hole.
So it's right in between. Boom.
Yeah, it's in between. Yeah, it's in the middle. It's in the middle. Like it's a little up more. But yeah, only men have a prostate. That's why only men can get prostate cancer, because it's.
Thank you, Dr. Stokes. I appreciate that, because I thought we all had prostate. I know women didn't have Adam apples, but I didn't know you separate.
No, they have a prostate. You know what's interesting to me? I wonder what they do with the testes. Like if they decide to go through with a castration, I wonder, do they remove the testes also?
Yeah, they do. My cousin was castrated.
He was castrated.
Cousin Cassie got castrated. No more balls.
Oh, okay. We say castrated.
That must be weird though.
That's
no
balls,
balls,
we say
still got the other piece. That's a little to the left.
Wait a minute. Wait, come on. You still got the piece?
Yeah, you still keep the main piece, but then the balls are off. That's crazy looking. You might as well just keep the whole thing, no?
You know, like my dog, my cut his balls off. Chance was looking weird. Chance had like this empty sack that was looking yeah, no nut.
Oh my god.
The Chance just licked them damn little empty sacks. I'd be like, damn. And Jillian used to say, which is my son, for anyone who's listening, like, yo, Dad, is that ever going to go away? I said it need to go away, because it was looking bad. It was looking like a pancake. Because I saw him prior to having no nuts, having nuts. And I was like, ooh, that gotta go. It's like a fat clitoris, which is good. It was just,
dog it.
I felt sorry for that dog. He started looking like, I know something used to be here.
Oof.
Okay, so that's a transition. Okay.
So this raises an interesting question that I have, because in order to write the bisexual piece, when Jay Random had made his statement, I had to go back to one of our older episodes, and in that episode we were talking about the backlash that entertainer Mario Lopez was getting, because he said that parents shouldn't be having their children transition into like another gender as low as the age of 3, right? So yeah, parents are allowing that to happen. And I just came from the angle of, you don't know what kind of psychological damage this could have to kids, because their prefrontal cortex isn't fully formed. So a lot of the decision making they're talking about, they don't know, like they're not fully like aware of what they're saying or what they want. So I just wanted to get
impressionable.
Right. So I wanted to get your thoughts, because the trans community was very offended by that. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on kids transitioning into another gender, And what do you think the possible repercussions is? And why do you think people might even have that idea in the first place to allow kids to do that?
Well, I think nowadays parents are all about like self-expression. They want, to cater to their children as far as even wanting to change Halloween so it's not on a weekday. The parents are just getting out of control completely. But yeah, I think that at 3 years old, 4 years old, you don't really know the difference between a boy and a girl, so you will have some damaging effects because once they get 10 years old and they get comfortable with their own bodies and start learning about puberty and sex and things like that, maybe they're just comfortable the way that they are. They're still impressionable at that age. So I wouldn't go that far to do that with my kid personally. But I do notice that a lot of parents, once the kids say that they identify as a certain sex, they just allow them to be that because they want their kids to be happy. So.
Yeah, that I know. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. People too. Yeah, a lot of parents nowadays too busy trying to be friends.
Yeah,
not parents.
The cool parent. Let me cater to you, even if it's not okay. I don't want to like tell you that it's not because I love you and I don't want to hurt your feelings. We didn't really grow up like that. If it was some bullshit, we got caught on it. But nowadays it's a lot different. So
you're right about that. Feelings. We didn't have feelings until at least we started getting our own paycheck.
Yeah.
Feelings.
That reminds me of there's this comedian. There was a comical sketch that this guy had done talking about like kids and parents knocking on the door to enter their kid's house.
What?
And
room.
I mean, sorry, room. Knocking on the door to enter into their kid's room. And this comedian, I'll get the name of this guy, but he was going on and on about like, are you serious? Like in my house, that would never happen. Like, do you think your mother or anybody would have knocked on the door to enter into your room?
Right.
Well,
what's the door closed for in the first place? That's what we need to get.
Exactly.
What are we doing? If we're not changing our clothes, there are no closed doors. My boss said the other day she thought her door was for decoration in her house. She didn't even know if the shit really moved or not. Like her mother told her, don't ever touch the door. She said she thought it was decoration. So she's about 13 years old. She decided to touch it to see if it moved. So some parents are a little more strict than others. But yeah, no closing doors at the house.
Yeah, the comedian was Kev on Stage, by the way. The comedian was Kev on Stage. I don't know if you've heard of him before.
Oh, okay. Kev, no, I've never heard of him. There's so many comedians nowadays. Is he like Instagram famous?
Yeah. Real comedian? Yeah, he's an Instagram guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's not a real comedian. Then.
Yeah, you got to see him out like that. Some of them are
he's a Vine comedian. He's a Vine. There's no more Vine. He's Instagram,
Yeah, I get a kick out of them, though. They all right, some of those guys.
That's true. Now, now it's cool. Coya, you mentioned something about kids being allowed expression and all that stuff. Now, for both of you, Random and Coya, both of you have children. So I want to know, in terms of like freedom of expression, do you allow your kids to do that? What is the limit, and how do you control what they are allowed to express versus what they are not allowed to express?
Okay, well, I definitely allow them to express their emotions, how they're feeling, like if something makes them upset or things like that. But I don't allow them to get disrespectful. You're going to keep your tone down, but you can definitely express how you feel. Because, like back in the day, you couldn't tell your parents how you feel, or if something made you upset, you got to keep that shit to yourself so you don't get knocked out. But I don't feel like it's healthy, when you get older, because that's not, you get poor communication skills at that point. So I do allow them to express themselves in that manner as far as emotions are concerned. And with their dressing and stuff like that. But, we just got to draw a fine line on what's respectful and what's not. But overall, it's okay for them to express themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Coy and I, we call, we're cut from the same cloth. So that's how I am with my son. As far as he's cool until he get out of pocket. Like, sometimes you get out of pocket on the low. And I don't think he realized, like last week, him and his cousin was in the car and the alarm went off. So I'm like, dudes, why did you set the alarm off? Why you open the door? He says to me, he says, I just need to know, are you coming to turn off the alarm?
Oh.
I said,
what?
Yo, let me tell you something. Don't you ever talk to me like that again, number one. Number two, I turn off that damn alarm when I'm ready. And he probably caught us. I was like, yeah, maybe I messed up. Yeah, you messed up, man.
Yeah, that's slick talk.
That's slick talk. But I had to check him. I had to check him because because I understood what he meant, but I ain't gonna let him know I understood what he meant. Like, yo, I get it. Like, Dad, listen, the alarm is going off. We can talk about that later. till you turn off alarm. That's what he meant, but nah, nope.
It's all about how you say.
When he told me, I just need to know, I'm like, yo, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. The delivery is how you do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about expression, but there's a thin line when I feel like you coming out of pocket, and I don't mind getting in his face and seriously, I don't mind getting in his face. I get in his face with no problem. I mean, I threaten him like, yo, I kick the TV in, like who you talking to, like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have to do that a lot because my son is definitely a good kid. But sometimes you got, for me, I think also as the alpha in the house, sometimes, you know, when your kid gets taller, you gotta like punch them in their chest once in a while. Let them know, listen, don't get out of line.
They start smelling themselves a little bit, trying to get out of control. No, totally.
Exactly, because a kid is a kid. They're gonna test you. Even if they're a good kid. I mean, even even growing up, we always try to see what we can and what we can't get away with. So, him saying that to me, I'm pretty sure he ain't really realized, like, oh wait, talking to my dad like that. But I kindly reminded him, don't you ever talk to him like that again? Like,
I tell my kids every day, I'm not your friend. I make that very clear. I don't need no friends, especially not y'all got no money. Make it real clear for everybody so we all on the same page, you know?
See, and the thing is, I appreciate both of your parenting styles, knowing when to cut things off, because then if you don't do that, the kids could end up like this situation that happened recently where a kid by the name of Ian Molaski, he's a 21-year-old student from the University of Florida. He was actually jailed for sexually assaulting a fellow student. What he did was he forcibly kissed her, pinned her onto his bed, and attempted to put his fingers inside her. And what happened was he was released from jail because the judge agreed that he was a high-achieving student.
That's terrible.
So
how does that have to do with anything?
He was deemed a high-achieving student and was released from jail. So, yes, he was white. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is white. Yes.
Get to the good part. He was white. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So it's like, if you don't nip these things in the bud, you'll have kids that grow up thinking they can get away with whatever they want, and then when you add whiteness on top of it, then you have a situation where they can get away with whatever they want, and you have a system that's going to protect them and further those behaviors.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on this situation, and how do you think things like this can be stopped in the past? Because this woman is going to be traumatized from this event, whereas this guy, Ian, he's going to be able to walk scot-free, and he might have a little stigma put on him, but he's out of jail because he's a high-achieving student.
Yeah, I just think it's like important to let your kids know from the beginning, like sexual boundaries, like don't allow anybody to violate you and touch you, because if people enforce that in you, that it's not okay for people to violate you in a physical manner, then you don't go around doing it to other people. So he could be a victim of something, to feel like it's okay to use that kind of force on people.
Oh, okay. Didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that either. That's a good one. Yeah. And I feel like it's just sad that when you think about how they don't know boundaries, and it's sad because it's all about your upbringing. Like, we already, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we knew boundaries. Like, we knew what was uncomfortable, what wasn't uncomfortable, to the point that we know right from wrong. So we know what fun is it to pin someone down, number one. What fun is that? Like, that's not fun. Like,
right.
That's not sexual. So to pin them down and to kiss them and to put their face, it's like, yo, if I gotta put all that work in, I might just go masturbate. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think he was probably violating himself, so he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So he should know definitely when's the cutoff, and the cutoff was basically you forcing her down. That right there should have been like, you know what, this ain't right. But once again, if you're always getting a pat on the wrist, or I'm sorry, a pat in the hand for doing things that a normal person or a person of color would get arrested for, then of course you're not going to understand right from wrong. You're going to be like, listen, I'm privileged.
Yeah, he probably wasn't taught boundaries ever.
Yeah, so. And once they realize they're privileged, there's no turning back. Then the door is open. The door is open. But in the same token, those are the same kids that when they get rejection, they shoot up the place.
Right.
They can't handle anything.
Yeah.
They're not used to no. They're not used to hardships. They're not used to anything.
Yeah, like they go crazy. Like that's the dude that's gonna hang himself when he realized, oh my God, I was rich, now I'm broke. I'm like, okay, well, how you got rich? Try to get rich again like that, or come up with another scheme. You got rich before, you can be rich again. They be like, no, I'm thinking my life. Like, no, come on, dude. It's not like that. Life is not over. Figure it out. Figure it out. Seriously, figure the shit out.
It reminds me of the Dave Chappelle joke that he had at the beginning of his special. Have both of y'all seen the Dave Chappelle special? I think Coya has. I mean,
I
Random.
haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it, Coya?
No, I haven't. I heard it was funny.
You have to watch it, Coya.
Yeah, you have to watch it. Yes, it's on Netflix. Yes.
Okay, I just got Netflix like a few minutes ago, so I will watch
it. It's also on Cyberflix. Remember I told you about Cyberflix?
Okay.
Okay. Well, then I won't give away the joke. Then. But suicide was mentioned in the beginning, and along the lines of what you two are talking about when you're used to being given something all the time or being privileged. Now, on the flip side of this rape case, of this sexual assault case, we have a rape case with Mr. Antonio Brown. And Random and I were talking about this earlier today. And Random, you know more about this. Coya, you might know more about this too. I've been like loosely following this, but
I saw a headline, but I didn't even bother to check it. Like he's been in the headlines for like the past 3 weeks. Every week is something.
I know.
Tapped out a little bit, so you
Right.
So basically, he's accused of sexually assaulting a lady by the name of Brittany Taylor. It was his trainer. He sexually assaulted her twice in 2017. So that
what
there
team?
brought up.
What team was she on?
No. She was his personal trainer.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't a trainer with a team. She was just his
personal trainer. So he assaulted her twice in 2017, and then he raped her.
What did you say?
He met a personal trainer, and he plays for the NFL. Come on now. He was plotting on Brittany, but you could finish your story.
Okay.
He was plotting.
So he sexually assaulted her twice in 2017, and then she claimed that he raped her in 2018. So my thing was, okay, I'm not shaming the victim at all. My only problem with this whole story was the first time it's like whoa, okay, I'm not messing with this guy again. But then you get sexually assaulted a second time, and then in the next year you get raped. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. This story doesn't seem to.
That doesn't sound believable. No.
Yeah.
You got one time to violate me, and I'm gonna violate
one time. Exactly.
Getting locked up.
One time.
And that's gonna be that. I'm not gonna link up with you next year to get violated again like a dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. So, and once again, I'm not shaming the victim. I just feel like something does not sound right. And
a lot of women lie. That's why people don't believe women sometimes when things actually do go wrong. Like the boy that cried wolf, they want a little come up, they want to get famous, they want a case to be on news or whatever. Like, come on already. That story is fishy as hell. I don't know about that.
Exactly. And also I feel like with the acquisition. Oh God,
Random.
No more wine for me.
Accusations.
No more wine. Okay, rule number 1, no more wine. Look, all 3 of us cannot be sipping. Why am I the one messing up on the words?
I let it sit already, so I'm good.
So anyway, I feel like with the story, you think about it like this. 2017, it happened, right? He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was high on demand, and it happened twice when he was on top of the world in Pittsburgh. Nothing was ever said. 2018, when she got raped again. When she got raped this time, because it was 2 sexual assault and a rape in 18. In 2018, he was still with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still nothing was done. And I feel like now that he's with the Patriots and he's about to play next week, this Sunday coming up, I just feel like perfect timing. And once again,
all controversy around him already.
Exactly. And once again, I apologize for any of the listeners who feel like I'm blaming the victim, because I'm not. If she is a victim, I just feel like, Jay Stokes and I, we talk a lot of times, and I feel like sometimes, man, you can't set yourself up for failure. And like Coya said, the first time would be the only time.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you violated me the first time,
unless she got paid.
Oh, she got paid?
That's the only thing that could like kind of make the story sound believable if she got paid, like some hush money. Like, don't bring this to the press. I'm at the top of my career. You know how people are. They could be manipulative. She's a woman. She needs some fast cash. She could have got paid to just make stuff go away.
Good point.
Good point. But also, Jay Stokes and I was saying, Coya, that it's funny how, okay, so now this is a big thing, right? But no one talks about Ben Roethlisberger.
And now for a quick commercial break.
To help better educate the public about media matters, Chemistry Productions co-founder Jay Stokes began writing for our personal web blog called Tit for Tat. You can find his writing at chemblog.wordpress.com. That's K3mblog.wordpress.com. Here, articles are posted every Thursday. Jay Stokes also writes media-related articles for Medium.com, which is a platform that helps pay our bills. Make sure to support by visiting Medium.com and search for J.Stokes.
Quarterback to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This man was accused of. This man raped 2 women, okay, back to back, and then got married. Like he forced himself. He pinned himself down and had sex with one lady. This is the second time in the bathroom, and I forgot what happened the first time.
Oh, that's the lady.
Yeah, yep.
He wanted something more out of her. She don't like no damn trainer. She's cute though.
Yes, no, she, I actually checked her out. Now she's real cute. So I'm just, so I'm just saying.
If he was looking for a date, but go ahead.
Exactly. So it's like that's why I'm like, let's see what happens, because I just feel like perfect timing. I feel like for the past 3 weeks, as Coya was saying, AB was in the news, but he was in the news to get out of contract. So NFL and the owners don't like the fact that this man bamboozled everyone to get out of a contract he never wanted to be in to get to a team he wanted to be in. So I feel like it's also like a Colin Kaepernick per se, as far as Colin Kaepernick did what he did. The NFL didn't like what he did, so now they're going to make sure he never get another chance.
Yeah, blackballing them all around.
Yeah, so I feel like the same thing is probably happening with Antonio Brown, as far as the NFL and the owners don't like how this man has everybody supporting him as far as how he went about getting out of his contract with the Raiders and Pittsburgh when he always wanted to be with the Patriots. Now they're like, okay, this, they don't want steam to come up. I'm sorry, not steam. They don't want any movements to happen off of, oh, you know what? If I don't want to be in my contract, I could just say, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that, and just cause them up, and they're going to get rid of me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that to happen, so I feel like it's perfect timing, I feel, because we never heard about him. He was with the Raiders. He was with the Raiders from damn near February till last week. We never heard about it. You don't hear, now it's in a boom. It's like,
yeah, I'm trying to humiliate the man. You know how that goes.
Yeah, but my thing is this. So the NFL, they never did anything to Roethlisberger.
They won't.
Think about it. The man got accused of rape twice. And then when you listen to the story, it's like, oh, God, that was rape. But they know what he did? He got married, and the thing was brushed under the rug.
White privilege.
Exactly.
In a heartbeat.
They rape women all the time, and nothing happens. They might get like 6 weeks probation or super shit like that.
Hey, Jay Stokes, remember that and Coy, you probably heard this too. Remember that that white guy who, matter of fact, we talked about our show last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago.
Brock Turner.
Brock Turner. No, it's just funny how the judge gave him a lenient sentence, right?
Pretty much the same thing they did to this other dude. I just showed you the story we were talking about earlier.
Probation?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he served any jail time.
That's unfortunate. We'll see what happens with this AB situation, though. The timing is strategic, and I feel like the fact that she kept interacting with him after feeling violated is a little fishy. Even if he did pay you, just stay away at that point if you're feeling really violated. So something's not adding up for me.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I was thinking, guys, as we were talking, He may go down. So what happened to Bill, right? Remember what happened to Bill Cosby? He raped the lady, paid her, gave her a settlement. She still hung around the family, and he raped her. It was like, come on, you come like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people gotta look at it for what it is. It's a come up. Like if I get violated, that's like my boss yelling at me one time. He'll never, or she will never yell at me again because I'm gonna put them in their place. But you know what I'm saying? It's like that energy is gonna be displayed right then and there. This is not gonna happen again. I feel like we keep going back to the same old stuff. Then what do you then? Are you the victim or are you just want it?
They want to come up. They just keep going around.
I mean, athletes are the best people to get the come up from.
Yeah,
right. Easy money.
Mm-hmm. Easy money. You're right. And I guess the last topic I wanted to bring up, kind of related with someone that keeps on doing something over and over again, Mr. Bill Maher. So
I thought about to say Kevin Hart.
Oh no, not Kevin Hart. No. Bill Maher, he says a lot of controversial statements. And I don't think he doesn't think these all the way through. Recently, he went on a rant. I actually had this video shared with me from a buddy of mine. He went on this rant talking about people who are overweight. And he was saying that, we should allow fat shaming. We shame people for smoking. Why don't we fat shame people? Just stop eating so much. Like he was going on this huge rant. I'm like, dude, you are missing so many points. Like you're trying to shame people who are overweight, what you deem overweight, or people who you deem fat. But I'm like, you're not thinking about, you're speaking from a place of privilege, someone who can afford healthier food, someone who can afford
surgery, liposuction, everything that he needs in the world.
Right. So I just wanted to know, and we'll let this be the last topic before we close out. I want to know, what do you think about people who are on that kind of ideological plane of, oh, well, you should control your weight. You shouldn't eat so much, or you shouldn't be this size, especially a celebrity. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Random, you can go first.
How do I feel? I think you have to be sensitive to everyone's feelings as far as weight, because you don't know why they're that size. They could be either depressed. It could be either a health issue. It's like we don't know. Because I know a lot of people who actually take medicine. Some medicine actually swells them up.
Birth control make you fat too.
Birth control, steroids. Steroids could be for someone who have a bad breathing problem or have a cough. Listen, anything. You can take steroids for anything. So it could be a health issue. It could be depression, and the last thing a depressed person needs to hear is that, Captain Obvious, you're fat.
Right.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock. I didn't notice that. You know what I'm saying? So to fat shame someone is kind of, to be honest with you, I think it's a waste of energy because you don't even know why they are. And number two, you don't know what they're doing. What if they're working on trying to reduce the fat and lose weight? You don't know. And who are you to judge because you have a chef that can cook you nice, healthy food, and I don't have that privilege, and instead I have to work with what I have.
Right.
So I feel like fat shaming is a waste of energy. Just like I feel, even though I don't smoke, but smoking is an addiction. And I don't have an addictive trait. So I don't have an addictive trait, so I don't know how it feels to be addicted. But I know there are a lot of people who actually have addictive traits. So who am I to shame that person who's addicted and they have to know they need help? I can't be the one to shame them because I'm not doing nothing but causing more. Matter of fact, I'm adding more fuel to the fire. I'm making them more depressed. I'm making them more sad. I'm not helping. I'm not helping the cause. So I don't agree with it. What do you think, Coy?
Well, I read something that said, don't say anything to a person that they can't change in 10 minutes.
Ooh, I like that.
I kind of stick with that. And I think a lot of people should go by that, and it will make us more conscious of the things we say to people. If the person can't change it in 10 minutes, just don't say anything at all. Let them work it out. It's not going to affect you that anyway if they eat too much. It's not going to increase your waistline.
So let me ask you something. I like that saying. So Jay Stokes and I, we like this comedian that was talking about Jay Stokes. Remember that comedian that I forgot the name of the comedian, but he said, you know, women when they get mad, they always talk about men genitalia. Remember that joke? And the guy was like, "You act like it's a store that we could just pick." And you're like, you know what? I want the smallest penis. So I said, you know,
can't change it in 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. But see, so everyone, male and female, should keep that in mind when it comes to an argument, because arguments are brutal.
Yeah, arguments, if he cannot change the size in 10 minutes, just let that man be. You know the shit.
Let that man be. Listen, that little thing can complete somebody else. And same thing with men. You know, men kill me. You know, they like, hey, your stuff stinks. It's like,
but you hit it though.
Ooh, exactly. It's like, yo, you can't change it in 10 minutes, man. Let's leave it alone, man. I like that. I think going forward, I think I'm gonna use that. You know, if I can't change.
I've applied it in my life because I will tear somebody up in a minute. I will dog walk them if they piss me off. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to calm down. If they can't change it in 10 minutes, I'm not gonna attack them with that.
Yeah,
so,
God forbid, if they can change it in 10 minutes, that's their ass. I'm going in.
Well, my take on the Bill Maher thing was two things. First off, when it comes to people being overweight or bigger, you got to consider culture, because I know in Black culture and some Hispanic cultures, we generally like big. I know men, we generally like bigger women. Like that's just what attracts us for the most part. Like I can't speak to every Black man, but I know most of us do. Like if you go over in like Ghana, Nigeria, they love.
Oh, the bigger the better, honey.
Yes,
that's a party. Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got to look at culture, and then the second thing is when you're looking at the food that people can afford. Like a lot of times when you have like a poorer household, they can only go to a McDonald's or they can only go to like a Walmart and buy like a lot of unhealthy food in bulk for like their kids or their family. And those
yeah. I say yeah, because it's so cheap. You're right.
Right. And those foods end up adding to weight gain. So if they don't have the money in order to buy healthier foods for a large majority of people, then of course they're going to buy unhealthy foods that lead to weight gain. So he has to keep that in mind when he's saying things like this. But he's not thinking about that because he's in a privileged position. And I've been over Bill Maher ever since he said the N-word. I've been over him ever since then.
Yeah, he's been canceled, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel anyone. That's somebody.
We're the cancel culture. You know how we get down. Cancel anybody.
Why we didn't cancel Kanye then?
Huh?
Why we didn't cancel Kanye yet? Did I see Kanye recently on Instagram talk about he told security guard, "Let me show you how you do this," and he actually was moving his hand like this, and people were like,
parting it, like he parting the.
I'm like, yo, this dude needs to go take several seats and sit his ass down. You see Kanye?
He's crazy.
I saw it. Listen, when you start offering people punch, then you know it's a wrap.
Yo.
Anyways, it's been a good show, guys. Coya, it's been nice having you on. You definitely are a great addition to the convo. Any last words?
I second that.
Thanks, guys. I tried.
All right. Well, any last words before we peace out?
Don't forget, if they can't change it in 10 minutes, guys, be nice, okay? Just don't mention
Yes, I'm gonna keep that in mind. If they can't change it in 10 minutes, so now I'm gonna have a stopwatch on to try to add up the times. Like, 11 minutes in, never mind.
All right. Well, that being said, peace, everyone, and thanks for listening to the AVIOT podcast.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.